everybody to be on the barricade. I am your host, Papa Dank, and I'm trying to get StreamYard to work. We're having an issue with the software right now. Just give me 1 second, and I will try to bring you our guest for the evening tonight. And somehow my StreamYard key is not working. All right, I guess we're gonna have to start anyway. Without further ado, let me bring to you my very special guest, the one, the only, Steven Styles.
What's up?
There he is. What's
What's
up,
up,
brother?
Papa Dank?
What's going on? How are you tonight?
Man, doing good.
You doing great tonight?
Yes, sir. How about yourself?
Great, man. How was your WrestleMania weekend, brother?
It was great. My predictions they did come out the way I expected, but
Okay.
not some of my expectations was not delivered. So overall, I did enjoy it.
Okay. All right. So you were happy with the outcome and all that?
Oh yeah, I figured it was great for the business.
It really was, really was. All right, let's start off with how did you fall in love with professional wrestling?
I was born into it. My dad was a wrestler. My grandfather he got me into watching Memphis wrestling, and at the time, it was WWE with the brand split. The SmackDown with the fist,
Okay.
and which was my favorite. And then it just progressed throughout the years.
All right. So tell me, how did you decide? Actually, when you decided to become a professional wrestler? Where did you go train? Who were your trainers, or what were your thoughts during that initial training?
Um, I decided that I wanted to be a professional wrestler right there when I first watched it, and I started training at the age of 16 under the teachings of Don Bass and Motley Cruz, and this was at SPWA back in Raymer,
Mm-hmm.
which is a really small town in Tennessee. And after Don died, we uh we stayed at that building for a few months, and then we moved to another small town called Pocahontas, Tennessee. And then Motley Cruz came along, and he took me under his wing and started retraining me into what he knows that I could become. And I just hope that I've lived up to that expectation.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Let's go into your first professional match. Who was your first opponent, and what were your thoughts during your first match?
My first opponent was a Hard Knocks Hooligan, which he used to be my dad's tag team partner for many years. And my thoughts on that match was I was nervous, but at the same time I felt like I was ready because um they was they didn't know who to throw in there, and they was like, Steven, do you have your gear? And I was like, yes, I bring it with me every show. That's the number one rule.
All
And
right.
it's go get dressed. I need you. I'm like, all right. And the whole time just nervousness. And then as soon as I go out there, it's stage fright a little bit, then deep breath and just go with the flow.
Okay. All right. All right. So, how were you excited to be in front of that crowd for the first time, man?
Oh man, like it was really exciting for the first time, and then it's more like a goal. I want a bigger crowd, and a bigger crowd. And I shoot for the bigger crowds each show.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's not a bigger crowd, I still go out there like it's of the hugest crowd I've ever performed in front of.
Okay. All right. Tell me about your toughest match to date. Who was your opponent, and why was it so tough for you?
The toughest opponent I've ever stepped in the ring with would have to be Motley, hands down.
How
Uh,
come?
Motley's the old school brutality type guy. Like I stepped in the ring with him, and this was 2018, I believe. And the energy, you knew it was there. So the first time we tied up, I get jerked right into reality. Like, all right, this is how we're gonna dance. And it's time to put your head on right and get with it. And that's when the teaching started.
Okay. Tell me about an opponent you want to wrestle, but you haven't wrestled so far. Who would this opponent be, and why do you want to wrestle with them? And we could stick to the independency
To
for
the
now.
independent scene for now. All right, this is a tough one because I've heard a lot of good ones and I've seen a lot of good ones out there.
Okay.
Um, man, I gotta think on
It's
this
a
one.
tough one. All right, let's go into somebody that is established already. Who would
All
that
right,
be?
who is established already? Um, that would have to be Blake Christian, hands down.
Blake
It,
Christian. Okay. And how
I
come?
mean, if you've seen his work in GCW and all
Yes.
that, Blake Christian is actually from around the area I'm from. I'm in Walnut, Mississippi, so I'm in the mid South area as it is. Blake, he's from around Jackson, Tennessee, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And I've worked with Blake just a little bit, but not to what I wanted to.
Right.
So I think it'd be great for me and Blake to tie it up one time at
Okay.
least.
All right. Let's say hi to Mr. Herb Simmons. How are you, sir? Herb is running FanFest 2, which is coming up in May, May 2nd, and that'll be my first appearance in the St. Louis area, actually.
I think that looks
So
like
I'm
Dr.
excited.
David Schultz. I see
That is Dr. David Schultz in there. There's a lot of people in there, Steve.
the Dark Side of the Ring. I loved his episode.
Is
So
that your favorite show to watch right now?
Dark Side of the Ring about wrestling, it is because
Okay.
you learn so much about these guys and the business itself, like
Right.
the downside mainly.
Right.
Um.
There's some good positives in there I've seen in some episodes though.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I think
Um.
the one that got me recently that I thought was really well done was the Harley race episode.
I have not seen the Harley race when Chris Canyons.
Oh, you got to watch those episodes, man. Good stuff for sure. All
Oh yeah.
right, let's if I didn't forget about the independent scene though, if it creeps
That.
back in there, just bring it up whenever you want, okay?
All right. All right.
All
Um.
right, let's go into hobbies for a minute, Steve. What are some of your favorite hobbies?
Oh man, just this simple country boy lifestyle, man. Like sit around, bonfires,
Hmm.
music. Sometimes go out trail riding or whatever.
That sounds
Uh
like a good time, man. Bonfires and
oh
stuff.
man. Especially with a couple of drinks here and there.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear
um,
you.
Me every now and then I'll stay in. I'll play my PlayStation or whatever.
Okay.
Just like be isolated and clear my head.
All right. What
But
about
that's just
favorite
a
foods?
oh man, the favorite foods.
What do you like to eat in those barbecues?
Oh, you said barbecue, man. Anything barbecue is good down here.
It is, right? Anything barbecue is good. I agree.
Um, One thing I love, and that's my favorite food of all time is tater tot Castro. But if we're having steak one night, I got to be the one cooking my steak. Like
Okay.
that's just me. Like I've always grilled my own steak. Um, or pretty much anything I'd eat off the grill, I'd grill myself because I know how I want it and how to season it. In my opinion,
Okay, awesome. Good seasoning always makes the steak better.
always.
All right, let's talk about some goals. What goals have you set yourself for 2024 so far? Or even goals
So
you've achieved already that you set earlier in the year?
the goals for 2024 is to be the best that I can be, better than I was last year and the year before. I want to make myself. I want to see if I could reach to the level that where I can't top. I had to work harder to top next year. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So, and the goals I've achieved this year so far is being being a part of Bluff City Wrestling.
Bluff City Wrestling. Okay, that's a good goal.
That is like, and just wrestling in Memphis in general is like the biggest goal of mine. And it could be a lot better, but right now we are where we need to be, and we are just elevating. We're just
Okay,
scratching this. Bluff City Wrestling is just scratching the surface of the Mid South right now.
I heard some great things about Bluff City Wrestling. Colby says 100%. I don't know what this remark was for earlier in the chat, but he's covering his face, Colby.
Colby knows the business when it comes to either facing me or tagging with me.
Hmm.
So he knows anytime stepping in the ring with me is a challenge.
Okay. I think Colby's enjoying our interview so far.
So far he is. I'm enjoying it.
Me too, man. I had some technical difficulties in the beginning because I'm using my laptop instead of my computer desk.
Uh, yeah, I'm on my phone right now, so
But I'll get it right next time we chat together, man.
see, like I said, Kobe knows every time.
He does. Man, it was. I had a rough day, so I was off to a rough start. I had a funeral, unfortunately, today. My uncle passed away, and it was the funeral. So
Man,
it
I'm
was it
sorry to
was
hear
it was a
that.
tough start to the day, man, for sure.
I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
Thank you,
Yeah,
brother. Appreciate that.
yeah,
Uh,
we lost a good one in down here. Jim Casey, he helped a lot of us. Um, back at SPWA,
uh-huh.
we always called him Dad Dad, and he would because he was there with Don Bass.
Uh,
He used to be Donnie's manager and everything. He helped, like, he was there. He was our guy. When Donnie wasn't there, we'd go to Jim
uh-huh.
or whatever.
For
So
advice.
yeah,
Man, I'm sorry for your loss as well, brother.
we appreciate it.
All right, man, we're gonna start crying in a moment, Steven. All right, let's go into promotions you want to wrestle for. We won't talk about the big ones yet that have caught your eye and you want to go, man, I want to wrestle there. What are the promotions and why do you
Promotions.
want to go there?
GCW is one because
It's a good one.
they are, like the name, Game Changer Wrestling. They are changing the game of wrestling,
They
and
are.
I want to bring traditional Memphis style wrestling to Game Changer Wrestling. Ring
They
of Honor's
just
another Ring
they
of
just
Honor's
had the
another
Hall of
one.
Fame this weekend. This week, last week.
Really,
Yeah, they had the GCW Hall of Fame last week.
I have
Shout
to
out
look
to
into
my friend
that.
Joel Maximo who was there. We had a great time.
I would like to work for Ring of Honor, and which I grew up on Ring of Honor. Me and my cousin and our one of our late buddies, Nick Grimes. He introduced me to Ring of Honor
Okay.
and Pro Wrestling Gorilla, and man, it was just phenomenal watching guys like Samoa Joe and AJ Styles and Christopher
Mhm.
Daniels and Loki tied up. Like that's where independent wrestling was Ring of Honor at the time.
Right. Do you think that GCW has taken that spot?
I believe it. Yes, I believe
I kind of had the
GCW.
same feeling.
I believe GCW is taking over that spot with the creative mind they got. I forgot his name, but he was a referee for CZW. I
Okay.
watched that. He was on the Dark Side of the Ring episode of Nick Gage's.
I thought was it is it Brett Lauderdale?
Yes, Brett
Yes.
Lauderdale. That's the one.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good, good.
I believe he has a good mind for the business.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. Serena says in MIW, what goal do you see yourself going after?
Oh man, there's only two titles I haven't held there, and that is the open weight title,
Okay.
which is which is it's a guaranteed shot for the heavyweight championship. So when you're open weight champion, you're automatically number one contender.
Oh wow, that's a good deal.
And the Southern Heavyweight Championship. And because so far I've held every title there, and even in the past that was there that's no longer there. So open weight and Southern Heavyweight is the only two I got to hold to be Grand Slam MIW champion.
All right. So Serena, we answered your question. Serena's also the executive booker of the podcast. I want to give a quick shout out to her. Thank you for everything you do. And
I
now
want to thank her for reaching out as well.
she's pretty awesome, man. Right?
Oh yeah.
She busts my chops a lot, but that's okay. I need it.
No, she made sure she got every detail, and that's I give her props on that.
100%, man. 100%. Let's see if she responded to it. Oh, are you one of the champions of those champions? Serena says.
I am not anymore. I
Oh,
was the last championship I held was the heavyweight title,
okay.
and I almost got it back if it went for Justin Case and Dorian Vane.
Dorian Vane. There goes that name again.
Man,
Speaking of Dorian, let's bring up an upcoming event real quick. On April 12th, Seven Deadly Sins, MIW Wrestling, right there. You're going to be in that event as well. Do you know who your opponent is?
the Seven Deadly Sins is going to be the seven people in this match.
Okay.
I don't know what this match is. All I know is if you're in the area, be there to find out. All I know
Yeah.
is I'm coming there, and I know there's no rules but pinfall and submission. So, and everybody knows that when I'm in that type of environment, I'm dangerous. So there's six guys that better watch their heads.
Oh man. Look at this Dorian Vane right there. Yikes. Serena says no one was speaking about Dorian Vane. Serena says good luck this Friday, Colby.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kobe's in that match. So, Kobe, I know you're watching, buddy. Good luck.
Oh, there it is. Good
Right
luck
in the
indeed.
center.
Good luck indeed, Colby. Because I'm sure Steven's not going to make it easy for you in that match.
We had a street fight, and I didn't make it easy on him.
He says champion, baby. Christy sees get him, Steven. Anybody else in City Wrestling that you want to wrestle against?
Bluff City that I want to wrestle.
Yes.
Bullet Ballard has a mouth on him, and he has.
I know that guy.
Bullet Ballard is the type of guy that likes to jump people and hurt people.
Uh,
When even after they give him an opportunity. So Bullet, whenever you're done playing with Johnny Dotson, we'll set up a meeting with Larry Little, and we'll have us a match.
Kobe says facts.
because he knows. Kobe knows what he knows how dangerous I am in these environments. So he's not going to disagree. Just like I know I'm not going to disagree about Kobe. Kobe is fantastic in the ring, but he needs to have that violent side brought out of him.
So we're just talking about Dorian. All
I'm
right.
still on Dorian. Oh
Still
my
on
goodness.
Dorian, man. That guy, man. We can't get away from that guy.
Can't get away from him.
All right. Where can we go from here? Overseas. Any thoughts about going overseas? Any particular country you would like to travel to wrestle?
I've given a lot of thought about Japan.
Hmm.
Japan would be great. And I look at all these all the guys I've grew up watching. I see their resumes. They go to Germany, Canada, Mexico, places like that, and I'm like, I'd like to see how their style is.
Okay. What about good old Mexico?
Oh, Mexico would be great. I think because because if it's like Lucha Underground,
Hmm.
which I believe it has their twists. I believe I can make something out of that out of myself there as well.
Okay, good stuff. Sree's got another question for you. If you had to pick one opponent anywhere in the world to face and one to team up with, who would you pick? So someone you would want to wrestle and someone you want to team up with.
So when I
Anywhere in
want
the
to
world.
rest anyone in the world, person I'd like to wrestle would be uh would have to be Ricochet.
Ricochet.
One person I'd like to team up with, it would and this is real difficult for me because there's the closest people that I've tagged with that in my life personally was my dad and my best friend J Webb, the American
Mhm.
Psycho. So it would have to be either one of them two because I have great chemistry with them two.
Okay, Christy has a question. Have you ever thought about going to try out for New Japan?
I
That's
have, but at the rate in this at this stage of my career, I don't feel like I'm ready for it yet.
okay. But you are working towards when you feel you are ready.
Oh yes.
Okay. What was the best advice anyone in the business has ever given you that you took to heart?
Um, less is more. Slow down and
I've heard that in with some people saying that in the business.
lay it in.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to attend a Gabe Saplowski seminar, which was pretty different from a podcast view because I'm not a wrestler.
Right,
But
right.
to hear that type of seminar, I was interested.
I went to Dr. Tom Pritchard's seminar and I loved it. I He helped me a lot, especially with promos because he said when it comes to your promos, try to slow it down and try to give meaning to what you're saying, give meaning to what you're trying to get across.
Right.
Show the people emotion, show the people that you're feeling the promo, and that's why I won't grab the microphone unless I truly feel a promo in me.
I uh I heard that too during Cape's speech. I also learned that, you got to go out there and engage the crowd and draw them in to the
Hmm.
story being told in the ring.
Exactly.
That's very important. It was good stuff, man, seminars. I can't wait to go to my next one.
I compare wrestling to a movie at times
100%.
because you have a bad guy and a good guy. What's the good guy doing? He's always chasing the bad guys.
Yeah. And the bad guy will make the good guy look better. as we saw this weekend during WrestleMania.
Exactly.
Christy
It's a
says, "Never
whole.
give up on that dream, Steven."
It was a whole Batman and Joker story, pretty much. You know, Joker had his goons or his minions or whatever. So
100%. And I think that the buzz and excitement going on right now with wrestling is heights that hasn't been seen since the Attitude Era.
exactly, and I think it's going to be perfect. It's going to a lot of people saying it's starting to surpass the Attitude Era, and I'm like, they ain't even gotten started yet.
Right. So I'm
So
sitting today at after the funeral. A whole bunch of family and friends went to, you traditionally we go to eat. So there's a whole bunch of people that I don't even know sitting around me. And me and my son, both into professional wrestling. I'm a podcaster. He's gonna go into the business soon, start training. And we hearing like people in on the table talk about WrestleMania, and I'm like, I said, I'm Brandon, like, we haven't heard stuff like this in a long time. Where we're sitting there and people are talking about wrestling. I think that's freaking amazing and phenomenal for the business. Not only
yeah.
for mainstream wrestling, but for independents. Because I don't know if you noticed this, but in the couple of years that I've been doing this, that since I've been back from the pandemic, it was slow in the beginning, and now I see the crowd starting to come.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just amazing to be a part of that and see that evolution the last couple of years, man. I think it's great for everybody.
You look at wrestling in the '80s. Tell me what the crowds were like.
Yeah, not besides like WWE, but like in the independents, it's very very limited.
I mean, in Mid South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee, drew over, I want to say, 11,000 people,
Hmm.
packed house. So if if the Mid South Coliseum in Memphis can do that on a Monday night, why can't these indie shows do it on a Friday night or Saturday night?
Right, 100%. I mean, I personally I see it. I see the crowds coming back, and it's just great.
And they didn't have to bring in a big name like Randy Savage
Right.
every show, or Bret Hart, or people Andre. They had their regular guys like Jerry Lawler, Jackie Fargo, Jerry
Hmm.
Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett, Jerry Calhoun as the referee. Well, Jeff as a referee before he started wrestling. Lou, what was his name? Joe LeDuc.
Uh,
Uh, the Nightmares. All them guys were your for the original was your regular Memphis guys, and they drew and packed out the Mid South Coliseum on them every Monday night. Why can't a regular local show down and in this area do the same thing?
right.
We may not Our building may not be the Mid South Coliseum, but we could pack this place out if we wanted to.
I've
We have
seen
the we
I've
have
seen
the want. We just got to do it.
I've seen also a couple of years ago companies just throwing matches out there for no rhyme or reason. And recently, with the crowds growing, I've seen them tell better like storylines for each month. And I think the best storylines in whatever company you're in, you have to have a big name, like you said, will draw the crowds in as long as they're
Exactly.
brought into that story. And the story can be told not just at the show, but I've learned through doing this and working with several companies is through podcasts like this and social media.
Yes, because social media has taken over the wrestling world. Social media has taken over everything. If you look at in my from my
Right.
eyes, social media has taken over everything. TV, movies,
100%.
music, uh, you know, businesses. Like like you could order back then. You had to buy a new album. You had to go to a record company. Now you
Right.
just download it off your phone.
Download it off your phone. And I've seen a lot of companies recently use social media to enhance their stories per se.
Yeah.
Now we got some comments in here. I can't ignore this one. Look, Torian Main, did you speak of me?
She sure did, Dorian. I heard her. I sure did.
Steven Styles, hey bud, says Dorian.
Hey, bud, how you doing?
All right, let's go to this comment. WrestleMania from Christy. WrestleMania had its best WrestleMania ever had. Triple H said sales, merchandise, and attendance surpassed WrestleMania
And I
39.
believe it.
I saw it. I saw the like what was it like 70,000 people? 80 no 90,000.
Yeah, no, had to be more people. Had to be. I thought it was like
It's
111
crazy.
or something.
It was like 1.3 billion views, the highest Peacock ever had.
Yeah,
So
I
Peacock
mean,
better say
I was streaming it from my phone.
Peacock better save their money because their deal's about to go to Netflix.
Exactly. So I mean, which I think that'd be great.
Dorian says, "I believe Steven said nice things about me."
I did. I did,
You
Dorian. I
did, you
did.
did, you did.
Asshole.
Man, this has been an engaging, great conversation, Steven. I haven't had with a guest in a while, man. So
I'm
good stuff, man.
I'm real fun, and my dog is trying to get on my lap. So
Uh
yeah, she's a 9, 10 month old baby, pretty
oh.
much.
Aw, beautiful, beautiful puppy.
Yeah.
Man, I
I,
wish I could have a dog. I'm too cramped in this basement apartment.
man, I've always been a pit bull guy, so like all.
Dorian, Papa Nick don't want me back. I am too wild. Nah, man, you're welcome to come back. We'll work it out.
Do- Dorian, you should see him at a live show. Like Dorian is crazy
I
in
believe
that
it.
ring, and but you know, locker room, he's just you barely know he's there.
No, Serena, we want Dorian back. We have to have Dorian back on. Dorian, stay in touch, man. Stay in touch, man.
Always.
There's man, but this has been a great time, man. I just want to say thank you for coming on the podcast, man. Let everybody know where they could follow you
You
and
can
where they
follow
could
me
get
on.
your merchandise.
You can. I gotta get more merchandise made right now. So, and it's kind of I'm in a tough spot at the moment. But you can always find me at Steven Styles on Facebook. Steven Styles 23 on TikTok. Uh, and Steven Styles 1 on Instagram, I believe. If you follow me on or if you add me on Facebook or follow me on Facebook, you should see them links on my profile as well.
All right. Just put it on your shoulder.
Shut up, Dorian. Shut up. That's an inside joke.
Serena says we're booked solid for 6 months out, Dorian. Yikes. All right, make sure you catch Steven on April 12th for MIW Wrestling for the Seven Deadly Sins. And if you're out there in any area near him, book Steven Styles. As Steven continues to live his dream of being a professional wrestler, we support him here at Beyond the Barricade.
And if you're in the area, want a show to see, come on out to MIW on Friday nights.
Look at that, Steve. Christy is right behind you 100%. Never give up on your dream.
Thank you.
Everybody else, have a great night. I will be back in a few. If I can get this graphic up. With Buffa Ayo. He's coming back. He's been back in the United States. He was in Japan for a long time.
Really?
Yes, years and years and years. He's a big name over there in Japan, Buffa. And he's coming on the podcast for the first time, and I'm so excited. It's been a long time coming, man.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for coming on the
I have a
podcast.
buddy that did a tryout for New Japan, named Buck Skinner, and I got to work with him at Bluff City Wrestling a couple years ago as well. And the feedback we got that day was phenomenal. Like I was overwhelmed.
Serena says you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you, Serena.
Also, before we head out, make sure you check out the Papa Dan commercial, which I was hoping to play in the beginning, but I messed up. Playing with SICW Wrestling. Make sure you follow them on YouTube. Make sure you guys come to FanFest. Come say hello to me, Papa Dank, and all your favorite superstars right there. and also playing at Titan Championship Wrestling's channel with their show Danger Zone, and they got their upcoming show Rise of the Titans Saturday, May 11th. So make sure you guys check that out. And coming up soon on April 13th here in Long Island, New York, and Bayshore, Victory Pro Wrestling presents 18 years, blood, sweat, and 18 years actually, as Kai McKenna makes her VPW debut against the unwilting Tatiana, and Jack Tomlinson and Bryce Donovan face each other in a steel cage. And for those of you who haven't heard of Jack Tomlinson, he was at GCW the other night dressed up as Zack Ryder.
It's funny,
So
Zack Ryder, but Matt Cardona.
he he teamed up with Cardona as Ryder to defeat Blue Cane.
That's classic. That's epic. Like
Young Jack Tomlinson dreamed of being Zack Ryder when he was a kid, and now he actually had to be Zack
my
Ryder.
my favorite growing up
Uh huh.
was a mix between Jeff Hardy, Raven, and the Undertaker. So, and at the time,
Mm-hmm.
it was during the American Badass run of the Undertaker. So
Oh wow.
yeah, I kind of blended all three of them
Uh huh.
and put a little Rey Mysterio twist inside of it because I also was into Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio's pretty dope, man.
Oh yeah. Um, but yeah, I fuse I fused in a lot of people that I've grew up watching. I remember watching.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good
and
stuff, Steven.
it just makes my craft a lot more unique, I believe.
Hopefully one day I can see you in action, man.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure my
hopefully.
our paths will cross. I seem to be getting a lot out this year somehow. Hopefully I can make my way down there and catch one of your shows, man. All right, everybody, have a good night. I'll be back with Bufa Ayo at 8 o'clock. Steve, just hang out for a second.
All right.